Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a subject to you that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and that is an analysis of defense mechanisms in certain animals. It's going to sound like an off-topic kind of thing. It's kind of a funny tangent, but I was just thinking about how most people think about, like, rattlesnakes and black widows, any kind of animal with a dangerous defense mechanism. They think that the advantage is obviously the power of it, or the deadliness of it, the toxicity of it, the effectiveness in combat. But now here's the point of this video, and an interesting revelation, I think, that it has nothing to do with any of these ideas. That an animal such as the ones I mentioned, or jellyfish. There's an interesting thing about these. All of these creatures, you can kind of actually use the observation that each one of these has a warning sign on it. So a rattlesnake has a rattle. A black widow is very easily recognizable. It's black. It's got the red hourglass, pretty easy to pick out just at a glance. Even it seems like pretty much all creatures that have a stinger or some kind of poison are very easy to notice. They're distinctive in appearance, and they're conspicuous is the word. So bear with me, there's a point here. So the actual strategy, if you want to be accurate and honest, and this is very interesting to me, the actual strategy of these evolutionary traits, the creatures aren't trying to be any particular way, they're just born that way, but there is an advantage, and it's not what you think. The advantage isn't being poisonous. The advantage is not being having a stinger or being deadly. It is being recognizable. And there's more proof. There's yet more proof. Check this out. Spiders, with very few exceptions, will fall into one of two categories. If you just superficially looking at the spider, there will be spiders that are camouflaged. Basically, they blend in with their environment, and you already know when you see one of these spiders. With, like I said, there's a couple of exceptions. Like the brown recluse is almost too like naturally colored to pick out, but most animals, most creatures with these kind of defense mechanisms will either be camouflaged or they're going to be deadly. There's a reason for this, because the actual advantage, the actual power of their defense isn't in being deadly, because they don't even necessarily need to be deadly. They just have to be deadly enough to be memorable, which requires some way of recognizing them. Always. Here's the thing, to be accurate. And if you're in question, this is interesting. It's useful, actually. If you look at a spider, this got me thinking about it, because I just saw a spider that was literally the color of dried grass, and I already know that this is not a poisonous spider. How do I know? Because if it was poisonous, it would not be using camouflage. Right? That's its defense. Its defense is camouflage, which means its defense is not to be deadly. It's one or the other. If it was deadly, it would need to be easily discernible. That's part of the package, and it's an interesting thing that I don't think even a lot of zoologists or biologists necessarily think about. Maybe they do, and I just don't know. But it's a revelation for me anyway. And I think these things, nature has a lot of lessons for us. We find ratios, we find solutions to human problems all throughout nature, and even when we don't intend to, we end up emulating nature. Turns out after the fact, oh, this is just like such and such a creature's solution, and looks like nature already solved that problem. Boy, we should have probably taken a note from that one. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great day. Reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com.